Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome. I'm Adriana. I'm a soul guidance coach. I help you choose growth and the healing of your inner roots. I have an intuitive message for your journey today, and if you are returning, this is a little different than my usual spread, so let's get started. We have one card to represent you. We've got the Tower. Not a bad thing. This is often a good thing. What are you? Six of Roots is what moves you forward. And Son of Arrows is what perhaps holds you back or might be pulling against your energy of moving forward. All right, I'm going to clarify the Tower. Okay, top two. So we've got the Hanged Man and Son of Roots. Okay, this is regarding information. Information not coming out or finally coming out. Okay. All right, now I want to say information that really gets to the root of things, information that gets to the heart of things, begins to come out in this Tower energy. And whether you are someone that speaks that information out or is aware of that information or interacts with information, I want to get clear on what this information is, whether it's personal or collective. Okay, I'm thinking it's both. So we're looking at, I want to say it's the information of truth, because for me that's universal, whether it's a personal truth or a collective truth. We're looking at the information that has been not forthcoming. It's been hung up somehow. Now it starts to come out. So this might be a truth about what you really feel is right, or a truth that your heart has been trying to tell you. It finally comes, or this might be outside information we're talking about within the collective. This information comes out and you find yourself in the Tower situation where you're at the heart and center of everything breaking down. So you're not just watching this happen, but you're actually feeling this happen. My elbow bumped the table and it looked like for a moment that we were in an earthquake. So it's kind of funny with the Tower. Sorry. It's the way my brain works. So you're in the middle of this Tower moment where the truth is coming out and reality is starting to catch up with fantasy, meaning things that were not true are being revealed. And anything that is anything that can't stand up to the measure of truth is being seen. So there's a story in the Women That Run with Wolves book. It's one of my favorite stories. And it's a story about Vasilisa, who's a little girl who learns how to really trust her intuition. But it's kind of a take on Cinderella. It's like a Russian Cinderella. And in the end, because Vasilisa is triumphant, she brings home these burning skulls, and these skulls burn up the evil stepmother and stepsisters because their hearts weren't pure. So you're in the middle of that kind of revelation, those kinds of energies happening. Now, what moves you forward is altruism, the Six of Roots. What this means is having a neutral, being able to look at these situations with kind of a light detachment. So not riding in on your horse saying, I told you so, or we need to go vanquish the dark, or we need to go. It's not that. It's a lightness. Because there's not a personal agenda with this altruism card. It's light, it's detached. It has that kind of Zen smile when you think of the old Zen masters. Maybe this is just a stereotype in my head, but kind of thinking of them sitting on a mountaintop drinking tea. I'm sure they do other things too. But they have, in my mind, they have this smile of detachment because they understand that the world is an illusion. And in a way, the world is kind of a joke. And I don't want that to come out the wrong way, like nothing that we're doing matters because it's all just a joke. But there's a little bit of a smile, like a wise smile, because they know that the truth and the reality is so much bigger than the circumstance of the world that we see. In my experience, what I've learned on this journey is that it's the connections we make that matter. It's not all the money we accrue or all the stuff we have or all the accomplishments we have or the status we encounter. It's the connections that last to the other side. And connections aren't really seen. They're not really, I can't, this is not a connection, right? Connections between people. So it's the idea of the intangible being tangible. And when you think about that and you think how much time we spend focused on the tangible, it is kind of funny. How much time I spend taking out the garbage or worrying about feeding myself when really the stuff that matters is not tangible. And, maybe it's the difference between being a Taurus and being a Sagittarius, because I feel like you already live that reality, that you know that there's a bigger reality beyond where you are. So the altruism card is reminding you that we are all in service of that bigger reality. And so when stuff hits the fan or when a truth comes out, it's very important that we don't have a personal stake in that, so that you don't get the energy of vindication or of validation or of I told you so. You want to keep your heart clean. That's what's also going on with this Six of Roots, is that you're keeping your heart clean because you don't have a personal agenda in the truth coming out or not. All right, now I've already kind of spoken of the energy of this card, but I will mention it anyway. The Son of Arrows is personal trial and error. Well, that was an error of speaking, wasn't it? It's personal trial and error in the hope of personal gain, of personal victory. And usually this card, when it shows up, means it's victorious, but we have to look at this as the energy that holds you back. So if you're trying and seeking for that personal validation, personal vindication, that's going to hold you back from connecting here. Because the truth is, when things hit the fan, people don't need other people to say, hey, I told you so, I was right. They need you to understand the bigger picture and be ready to share that bigger picture with them. And that's where we're going back to the Mother of Feathers, which is an expressive energy. This is Queen of Wands. This is an expressive energy that allows people to come to her, but also shines her truth, her light. So when we combine the energy of these two cards, we get a non-judgmental beacon of truth, someone that understands the bigger picture, people that are connected to there's something else going on, and yet can share that truth, can share in that truth without judgment, without the polarization and separation that is going to be caused by the Tower. Okay, you're going to have some rights and some wrongs, but it's our job to bring it back into the wholeness. There's so much wholeness energy here. We've got the full moon, we have a bird feather, this is sacred Quetzalcoatl, we have a snake, we have the rabbit, and the roots. All of this is connection, connection, connection. So when you remind yourself that you're here for connection, whether it is to connect people, to connect to the other side, to connect the dots, to hold everything together, that's why you're here, is connection. This Tower is going to cause disconnection, but you are here for connection. And again, dropping the personal agenda. I do want to mention that the full moon is on either Monday or Tuesday, depending on your hemisphere. So be sensitive to that time. You may be seeing a lot of this energy play out around there. Okay, I'm going to get one more card to continue your story. I think I'm going to get 2 more cards because this is an odd one to get on its own. All right. Loss and vantage. This is a tough one to talk about personally for me, because it says that there are going to be some losses, but from the perspective of the bigger picture, there's going to be a bigger gain than there are losses. Okay. So, that's a big statement that can be taken on at many levels, but what you feel personally that you may be losing in this whole tower situation, where'd it go? This whole tower situation. I think that's why some of you may be looking for that personal gain, because it's a reaction to the loss. There's nothing to be worried about, because whatever is lost here, the 3 cups that are lost, are gained in these 3 feathers. Whether that gain comes in a shift of perspective or different opportunities available to you because of the shift in letting go, just know that those losses will be recovered. Okay. All right, Sag, that was a really interesting one. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your journey with me. If you know anyone else who is also seeking and would like to go even deeper with their journey, or perhaps you would, please check out my website, soulguidancewithadriana.com, or the description below. There's different offerings on how I can help you and how I can help nurture your journey forward. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good one, Sag.